Hey, successful wives. Welcome to Wednesday Wife Spotlight. Today we have Tamara.
Yes,
I'm so
Tamara.
sorry. Tamara McGee Ochoa.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I've been practicing her last name, y'all, for a minute. So I wanted to make sure I get it correctly. May I call you Tam?
Yes, you may. You may.
So Tam has been married 18 years to her now retired military husband. So we want to give a shout out. We want to thank Tam's husband for his service and for making it home, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yes, absolutely. So Tam, I want to talk about the military lifestyle because I don't have personally I have not experienced that.
Mm.
My husband has not been in the military, but I do have friends, spouses that have been in the military, and it can be proven. It has been proven tough. Okay, it
Yeah.
involves periods of separation due to deployments and everything. So, can you share with us a bit about your personal journey as a military wife?
Well, with my journey, I mean, I think with any military life, it's hard, even in general marriage, it's a struggle. I think for military wives, though, you don't really know what you're signing up for. I didn't know what I was signing up for. I didn't know that he was going to be deployed, 8 or 9 times throughout our marriage. I didn't know that, I would have to, hold a certain amount of responsibilities for myself, by myself, for the both of us. I didn't know that, you know. And so those type of struggles, those are hard. It's um, you're married, but he's not here. And
Mm,
so you're having to, you know, do all these things by yourself, handle things by yourself. And normally when you're married, the couple, a couple is doing those things together.
mhm,
And so another struggle that we would experience is just when you spend a lot of time away from each other, people grow. You grow in different directions, and um, we had to learn how to continue to grow together, even being apart. That's
mm.
all.
Yeah. Can you give us some examples of how difficult that was, but then how did you guys figure that part out?
Through communication. I mean, we definitely had to have good communication on where we wanted to be, and the things that we wanted to do, and how our future looked. And we had to keep that in perspective. We had to keep that as a common denominator of every time that we spoke. Um, for us, I remember his first deployment. You know, there wasn't cell phones. We had cell phones, but it wasn't like I could just call him on his cell phone and say, "Hey, how you doing?" It
Okay.
was it was one of those things where I had to wait for him to call. Well, that could be, you know, 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I might have heard from him. You know, and that was hard because it's like, all these things are going through your head and like, oh my gosh, and you're watching the news, what's happening? I don't know where he's
Yeah.
at. So um, so for me, it became easier to write things down that I wanted to talk about, other than, are you okay? How's it going? I love you. I would send him boxes monthly. I'd make sure that he gets something from me, whether it was just a card, or, a book, or just a letter, you know, but I would always make sure that I would keep that type of contact with him, you know, um, and to let him know that everything was okay, because I needed him to come home safe to
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
I needed to make sure that he was at peace with that.
Hmm.
He was okay with, okay, I'm being away. Everything's okay.
Okay. And you guys, how many children or child you have? Any children involved?
We have one son. We have one child. He's 8 years old.
Okay. Were there any specific parenting strategies or routines that you found helpful when your husband was away?
Um, for me, I would say creating a routine with my son. And I say that because uh, 5 years ago, our son was diagnosed with autism,
Mm,
and so that was really hard. Um, Learning that diagnosis, and then also having to be the only present parent at that time too.
tough.
So,
I'm sure
oh,
that was
it,
tough.
it was traumatic to say the least. And so I had to learn quickly about autism. I had to learn quickly about, you know, just things to do, parenting, um, things to do as a parent, parenting skills, those type of things. But for me, it was creating a schedule for my son, a routine. And with that routine, things became a lot easier because with the routine, my son knew what to expect. And kids with autism, if they don't know what to expect, then that kind of spirals down, you know. So it all started with just creating a good routine with him.
Okay. So so during the times that your husband was deployed, how how were you able to keep him involved? So although he wasn't there physically with you and that
Mhm.
was tough, how did you manage to keep the bond between him and his son? So that
Well,
you know what I mean, like how he felt involved and different
right.
things of that nature.
Anytime that we would send packages, I would always tell our son to draw a picture for dad, to, uh, make him something. We would go and buy something or buy a card. And even when we would talk on the phone, we would make sure at the times that we could FaceTime.
Okay.
Um, so that was very important to be able to FaceTime, to be able to see and to look and hear his voice. Um, we would say prayers for dad. And we would always talk about when dad gets home, we're going to do this. These are the things that we're going to do when dad gets home, or we're going to save this for dad when he gets home. Buy gifts for dad, so when he gets home, he could see this and he'll be surprised and he'll be happy. So incorporating those type of just little things really worked well for us.
That is awesome. What advice would you give other military wives who may be navigating a similar experience? So, although your husband had when did he retire? Last year?
Last year, yes, 20
Last year.
years. Mhm.
So yeah, either or. So, what type of advice would you give other military wives?
Um, I guess one of the things I would say is even though the military, they always say that they're family friendly. Um, it's hard for them to be family friendly. So with that, you know, if you need that extra help, get it. It's okay because you become two different people sometimes when you're separated from each other, and it's okay to have that help. It's okay to get that therapy if you want to maintain in your marriage. If it's worth fighting for, do it. And that's one way to do it, is to, if you have to do therapy, and it's okay. And it's not really big in the military to do so, but the military, you know it's only temporary. Your marriage should be forever,
Yeah.
and that's what you're fighting for, you know So do those things to help maintain that relationship with your spouse. Um, communicate. Communication is big. You know, making sure that you are understanding each other and what you're feeling,
Mhm.
and trying to come to a common ground, and understanding and making sure that you're on the same page is very important, moving forward.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and to spend as much time as you can together. You know,
Absolutely. Yes.
both times that you have together, plan and go away, or whatever it is that you do to spend time, do it, you know, because, and it may not be there in 2 weeks.
Okay. So your husband is home. He's been retired a year now. What what did it look like, or what does it look like now? Because now he's home every day. You know,
Uh-huh.
so he's home every day. There's no more deployment. What did that feel like the first 3 to 6 months, and how are you guys doing now?
Well, we probably were trying to figure each other out. Yeah,
Who is you? Who that? Who that?
like that. um, so yeah, that was probably the first part of it. But I think it's just, again, just communication part. Um, now I don't have to carry everything
Mm,
on my own, and being able to be a partnership, in a way to where we're both carrying each other. Um, and as we know, marriage is not, it's never 50-50. It's never, one load can be a little bit heavier at times, but if we can end up at 100 and
yeah.
balance each other out, that's what I think makes it continue. So yeah, that's where we're at. Is just, making sure we're balancing each other out. You know.
Okay. No, that's good. And I always say marriage when I'm talking to wives, or just, people, in general about marriage, that marriage teaches you more about you than the
Oh,
other person. So
definitely.
what has marriage taught you? What has marriage taught Tam about Tam?
Um, I would have to say marriage has taught me to be a better forgiver.
Mm,
Um,
girl. Oh, we don't wait. Don't let's marinate on that one. What?
yeah,
Woo. I think all the men in the world just stopped what they were doing
yeah,
because they heard a woman say that. Like, whoa, let that marinate. Let that marinate. Okay. Okay,
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Okay, go deeper. Go deeper.
Well, I think that, I think in any marriage we hold something that has hurt us, or if we've been hurt, um, and holding on to that, it really does just kind of fuel the fire. It and
Mhm.
fueling the fire never makes things better. It never makes things easier. And in order to get through whatever you're going through, there has to be forgiveness, and there has to be healing. you know and so I think that, if it's worth fighting for, which it should be, it, you know
Yes.
you have to be a better forgiver, and you have to, um you know move try to
Mm,
get past it, and work through it together, uh, on both ends.
on both ends, yeah. And if that means, and would you agree if that means, seeking out pastoral counseling or
Absolutely.
therapy,
Absolutely.
whatever you guys need to do,
Yeah.
but the main thing is you both want this. So you're going to
Right.
do what you need to do to make it work because
Make
you
it
both
work.
want it.
Right. Right. And I think in the African American community, we don't seek those type of therapy. It's hard for us to do
Mhm.
that, and it it really shouldn't be. But that's another story. That's another,
No, no, we can touch on that a little bit. I agree with you. I think it depends on the generation, right? So like, we're probably come from the same generation in our age. You're taught, you
Mhm, mhm.
that therapy was for other people and not for us because therapy is crazy and you need to just pray about it. And I am a strong believer, prayer, you can, prayer and Jesus as well. You can pray to Jesus and have a therapist as well because God put people in place, right? He uses
Right.
people. Even if you want to get a seek Christian counseling, they have licensed Christian counselors now, right?
Right.
So I believe the tide is changing though, probably with generation all these different letters like Generation Z, maybe the millennials, but I know with my daughter and her generation, they're in their 20s and
Mhm.
they speak about some of her friends speak about therapy. They be like, well, my therapist said, and it warmed my heart to hear that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they don't feel like that's a stigma to say my therapist. And I'm like,
Right.
I think that is so cool. So,
Right. Right.
oh, yeah, kudos to people that want to seek out and want to unpack a lot of
Yeah.
things, you know, in your marriage or things that you were holding on to. So, no, kudos,
Right.
kudos,
It's a
you know,
step. It's a step to healing. And I don't think a lot of people
absolutely.
understand that you have to heal first. In order to have those relationships that you want. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so it's a good thing.
Yes, it's good. And thank you so much for bringing that up. Forgiveness. That's awesome. That's a whole word by itself. That's a whole word. So, as we prepared to wrap up, I do want to just give you kudos. I mean, as a wife, you're a wife, awesome mom, awesome daughter, sister, from what I know of you, just awesome.
You.
And I want to talk about you being a chef. You do have your culinary degree. And I do have to say, guys, I have taste Tam's food. Listen, be prepared to eat and just go back into bed and go to sleep. That's just go ahead on. Okay. I've tasted her food more than once and she's the real deal.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
so Tam, just talk about, how did, getting your degree came into fruition, how you prepare to do that and your love of food and all that great stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been cooking probably since I was a little girl. I grew up watching my grandmother cook in the kitchen, and I was raised by a single parent mom, but I was raised around my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, and so I had a big family. And so watching my grandmother cook for my family, especially Sunday dinners was like, the
Mhm.
main thing. Um, and I loved the way that it brought everybody together for that one day. The food was delicious, the being around, family was awesome, and the laughter and just the fun that you had being around everybody. So from there, cooking has always just kind of been that for me. I would cook for my friends and I would invite them over. We'd have, I would come up with some crazy stuff, not crazy, but, you know, um, Italian night or, have a specialty drink to pair with, a certain type of food, whatever it is, just a different theme, and have friends and family over, and just enjoy the conversation, enjoy, music and just laughter. So that has always just been something that I love to do. And when COVID hit, well, we're all just kind of sitting around and like, oh man, what's going to happen? Well, I seen you could do some online cooking classes. I said, what? Online cooking classes,
What?
right?
Right.
And
What that look like? What?
yeah, that's why I researched the program and everything. And I mean, just it's top notch program. I said, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it, you know. And so I enrolled into school online, figured out how it worked. Probably one of the best things I did in my life.
Oh, good.
Learned
Okay.
a lot, you know, got to make some great food and share it with, you know, family. And so with that, I said, I think I want to be a personal chef. I want to be able to bring good food to people. You know, I want to be able to bring people together by food. And so that's where I'm like, I'm just going to be, I want to be a personal chef. I don't want to have a restaurant or anything,
Mhm.
but I just want to bring together groups of people, enjoy good food and a good time, good company, period.
Yes.
So I got my LLC last summer and started my private personal chef business. And it's been totally amazing. I've met some awesome people, just like you know, how food brings you to awesome people. You know, I've been able to experience, you know, um, just cooking for just amazing people, you know, building relationships.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I enjoy. I enjoy building relationships with people. I enjoy meeting new people. And why not do it eating good food?
Yes. And again, whew, I'm a witness. Yeah. Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
She's the real deal. So Tam, do you travel? So we're here in Arizona. Do you
Yes.
travel as a personal chef as well?
Um,
Or are you just
I,
still in Arizona right now?
I'm still in Arizona right now, so the furthest I travel is probably, you know, an hour. Um,
Okay.
yeah, an hour outside of Phoenix, you know. But
Okay.
yeah, that's probably the furthest that I travel right now. And reason being, you know, I'm being available to my son, to
Yes.
my family, and so I try to set hours, you know, to where I'm not dipping into my family time.
Okay.
That's
Love
the cool
that.
thing about being able to make your own hours.
Yeah. Hey, love that. No,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, if you're in Arizona and if
Yes.
you, huh? Yep, Phoenix. If you're in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. So
Yes.
you can't be living in Tucson because you're not driving that far.
Not right now, but maybe in the
Not
future.
right now, at least not right now. Not
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So soon to come. But right
Soon to
now, if you're in
come.
Phoenix, then
Right.
definitely, definitely check her out.
Right.
Okay.
Little
Yeah,
Love's Kitchen. You can check me out on Instagram or on Facebook, Little Love's Kitchen. So right now that's the best way to reach me. You can check out some of my meals, some of my food prep. Uh, it's all there.
that is awesome. Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you, Tam. Thank you for sharing with us. We totally
Absolutely.
appreciate that. And
Thank you.
next time I have you back on, it would be nice if we can follow you around while you prep for food.
Oh, yeah,
So that way
absolutely. That
we
would be
so that
awesome.
way we can show the people again, she's
Yeah,
the real deal. So we're gonna get that in the works. We're gonna get that in the works.
that would
So
be awesome.
yes. So thank you guys for being with us. Again, I'm DC Constant, the founder of the Successful Wives Network, where we're elevating wives globally through personal and professional development. And don't forget to follow us here on Facebook at the Successful Wives Network or on our YouTube with the same name and Instagram. All righty. Thank you. Until the next
Thank
time,
you.
be blessed. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
My, it's been an honor. Thank you.